Hello. Welcome to Port Misery, a GH podcast where we try to figure out why everybody in Port Charles is so miserable this week. Merry Christmas, y'all. Happy holidays. Soon to be Happy New Year's because it will be 2026 before I record another episode. I never start with this, but Tracy was like, you should. And so I'm going to start with, hey, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. That'd be a great end of year gift to me. But only if you want to, obviously. You know, this isn't my bag. I'm not making money off of this. But this is a recap. If you haven't heard yet or seen, I did drop a video yesterday. That is like a we need to talk about style video where I kind of just go through the history of Drew and why that character is annoying me to no end. And how it's all the writer's fault. But so if you haven't checked that out, please go check that out at your leisure, of course. But this is the recap. This is the sometime in December edition of Port Misery. Because what fucking day is it? There is a point where, like, I do know the date. It's like December 24th at a certain point, but then like the days before are very confusing because why is everybody buying their Christmas tree on like December 20th? Like, what's going on? Like, is that a thing? Is that y'all let me know because one, I don't buy live trees anymore just because this seems so wasteful. Like, it's no offense. When I was a kid, I demanded a live tree. Like, my dad would be like, we should just get, you know, a fake tree and then we just store it away. And I was like, absolutely not. I need to smell the pine. I'm from California, and I'm from Southern California, so we don't even have a white Christmas. So I was like, you're not going to take my damn tree away from me, Dad. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, yeah, this fake tree is actually pretty clutch. And so we get that tree up like first week of December at the latest, and we have presents underneath it. It seemed like everybody was trimming their damn tree on like December 21st. Is that a thing? Y'all let me know in the comments if like y'all just be having loose trees in your house that are undecorated and you wait, because I do understand the idea of like a tree trimming party. Totally get that. But also, isn't that more I would assume, I mean, it works in Port Charles because everybody in their immediate family live in Port Charles. But if you aren't in a place where you live with your immediate family, like, would you? Do you wait until they get to town a couple of days before Christmas to decorate the Christmas tree? You just got a loose tree in your house or no tree. You just go through most of December without a tree, and so you only have this tree for like 2 weeks, and then you chuck it into a landfill. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because Jason definitely showed up with a loose tree on like December 20th. And then Lulu was also like, I have this tree that's not decorated yet. And like, but other people had, okay, you know what? I'm thinking too hard. I'm thinking about this way too much. But it is the week of Christmas, but we're also still having this raggedy Willow trial. We're still doing the Raggedy Willow trial. Like, it's very funny to me. That's why it couldn't have been December 24th. When I was watching Monday, I was like, is it December 24th? They're just all trimming their tree on Christmas. Trina had to trim her tree by herself. It was very sad. I was like, what's going on here? Why is Trina alone? What's happening? Where's Jocelyn? This is her place too. Where is she? We didn't see her at all this week. What's going on? But it's Christmas. It's sometime in December in Port Charles, and we see that Jason and Danny have shown up to Alexis's house with a loose tree. Hello, we're here. We're here to decorate the tree. Molly and Christina are there. It's a very joyous occasion, and Molly is complaining about Cody about some Thanksgiving shit. And so Molly has not talked to Cody in about 3 weeks. You not even dating his ass. You not even dating his ass. So like, even if what had happened, why are you even mad at him like that? Like, why doesn't she ever just text this man back? That's my question for Molly. Like, the man texts you, you could like text him back. Why you keep trying to just swoop up on his ass? Just like magically appear. Like, she ain't never. Does she not have his number? Like, is it not saved in the phone? And she just constantly like, new phone, who this? Because I'm just so confused that the man texted you on Thanksgiving and you didn't text him back. You just got dressed up, showed up. You show up to this moment and then you just bounce. You don't talk to him for 3 weeks. That Cody is the most patient man I've ever met in my life because I'd already be over it. I would already be over it. But she's complaining about that to Christina. No, not Christina. Jason is like, so here's what's good. Britt did that because she was drunk, and Cody didn't want her ass at all. To be honest, he was like, "Girl, what are you doing?" And you didn't see that because you ran out. And so, if you're mad at him for that, you shouldn't be mad at him for that. And she really tries to stay mad at him for a second, but then Danny shows up, and he's like, "Let me spit some wisdom on you, Auntie." So guys are dumb. Guys are dumb. And until you tell that man that you like him, until you actually return one of his texts, he don't know what you're talking about. He don't know if you like him, if you just want to be friends with him, if you just talking to him for the day. He has no idea. So she decides once more to not text this fucking man and just run out and go to the Q mansion to go run up on his ass. Luckily it worked out. Luckily it worked out because Cody had been talking to Tracy. His dog, the plot device dog, ate Tracy's glove, gave them a moment to talk. And, he was like, "Ooh, I like Molly, but I ain't a good dude." And Tracy's like, "You are a good dude, and I approve of this relationship." And so when Molly shows up, it's just a perfect moment. But if it wasn't the perfect moment, if Britt's drunk ass had shown up again, or a new random bitch showed up to kiss him, I would have been like, "This is what happens when you don't text this man back, Molly. This is what happens when you don't text this man back. Text somebody back." But let's move on. Let's move on. We said, like I said, we had a Cody Tracy scene, and she said, "I'm very sad that Monica's not here, and I got to be the head of the family. I'm not sure how to do that." Cody said, "You got that. You got that. Don't even worry about that." But let's go back to Alexis' house for a second, because I kind of just did the Molly stuff. So Alexis is just running around trying to find somebody that we later learn is Portia, because she's trying to subpoena her, because she's trying to still do this stupid, "Let me put Portia on the stand because Nina told me to" ass strategy. It's dumb. Um, at the exact same time that this is happening, Chase is arresting Britt and Brad for dining and dashing because they're fucking stupid. So Britt first tries to call Nina, but Nina is busy over with Ava, repairing that friendship. And so she sends her ass to voicemail. So she's forced to call Jason. Jason shows up, takes one look at fucking Brad, and is like, "I'm not bailing him out, and he knows why." Bounces. First of all, Brad is a fucking punk. Brad is a fucking punk. Because if you don't understand why Jason ain't bailing you out, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Mob Hospital has not forgotten about the Wiley shit. We ain't never gonna forget, bruh. We beefing for life. We beefing with Brad Cooper for fucking life. Like, the Wu Cry family is lucky we even talking to them. Selena Wu lucky we even talking to them after the shit he pulled. But he want to get a fucking attitude because Jason, who is rightfully pissed off at him still, doesn't want to bail his ass out. Fuck you, bruh. Fuck you, bruh. Britt is kind of like, "Look, this is the only person who's unconditionally down for me, so I'm gonna keep his ass around. I don't know what to tell you." But it doesn't even matter because, like, Jason doesn't have to bail them out because he goes to the restaurant and paid the $2,000 bill that these two clowns ran up and gave a 40% tip. $2,000, 40% of that is $800. So this man had to pay $2,800 to get his teenage daughter. Someone on Twitter said that, and I'll never forget it. It's so funny. They were like, Jason has to go bail his teenage daughter out of jail. But He paid $2,800 to get this raggedy bitch and her ingrate ass friend who knows why we don't fuck with his ass out of jail so he can go back and spend time with his baby. Okay. Okay. And that's pretty much, the that's how Jason spent his December 20th or whatever the fuck day it was. But let's move on. We got like I said, Nina couldn't pick up because she was having dinner with Ava. Now, Nina really came to the table real hot when she's the person at fault. She was just like, "Why am I here? You know what you did." And Ava has to be like, "Listen, I'm the one who hooked y'all up. I told Portia you were on the up and up, and then you did what the fuck you did. And you know what? If she had done some shit like that to you, I would warn you because you're my friend. And so is she. So why are you mad? Like, honestly, why are you mad?" And Nina is like, "I'm mad because you ambushed me." And like, granted, Curtis is leering at Nina across the restaurant. Like, fuck you, bitch. And Ava has to be like, "Listen, you and me are the same, girl. We get real defensive when we wrong, but don't make no mistake, you were wrong as hell. You were wrong as hell, but I still want to be friends with you." And Nina's like, "I want to be friends with you." And they like reaffirm their friendship because they both ain't shit bitches. So there's no point of like being mad at each other. Like, Nina, if you were mad at Ava for essentially trying to steal Sunny from you unsuccessfully, right? Unsuccessfully, but she def was like, "I'm more suited to be in Mob Hospital, be the queen pin of Mob Hospital than fucking Nina Reeves." She was definitely on that time. If you can forgive her for that, you can forgive her for this. Like, to be honest, especially when you 100% in the wrong and you know you ain't shit bitch, right? And but they make up and Ava's like, "Listen, Portia has done some wild shit for her daughter. So, don't even trip about that. Don't even trip about that." Right? And so they like resolve to make it up. Right? We're gonna make this up. Everything's gonna be all fine. Um and that's that. That's all that happens there, to be honest. We just had to reaffirm the Ava Nina friendship. There's also like another tree trimming party. It's at Lulu's house. Lulu invited Sunny and Laura to be a buffer between Dante, Rocco, and Gio. And I'm like, the only person who's having problems in this family now is Rocco. Is Rocco. And he's the last person who should, to be honest. Like, you have done so much shit in the last month and a half. The fact that you got an attitude with any of the adults in your life is actually wild. Send Rocco upstairs. No Christmas for Rocco. No Christmas for you, bruh, because I'm actually tired of this behavior. This is out of pocket, especially when your dad and your brother are going above and beyond to try to make it okay for you, and you don't deserve it. To be honest, you don't deserve shit. And I hate that the show almost refuses to get where Dante's coming from. But at least it's like you had Gio and Dante meet each other halfway. And so now it's Rocco just being the drama in his own fucking house, in his own family. Like, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. And so that is everything that happened on December 20th, 21st, sometime in December, right? Sometime in December, all that shit happened. Because now we got to go to some other time in December to Willow's trial. Yes, let's talk about Willow's trial. So, Willow's trial, as I said in my other video, if you already watched that shit was a shit show. That shit was a shit show from beginning to end. I'm now kind of worried that they're not going to make Willow be guilty just because she already looks guilty as hell. Because Alexis is washed. Alexis is washed as hell. She looks straight incompetent. Like, every person she put on the stand got eaten up. Got eaten up or ate her ass up. And so let's get into it. Let's start with Chase. So Chase decides he's going to ruin his career for whack ass Willow and gets suspended for his troubles. So it's crazy. After all this goes down, legitimately, after all this goes down, the judge is like, we're gonna wrap this up until New Year's. I actually don't want to talk to any of you people until New Year's because he's so fucking annoyed, and so am I. So am I, Your Honor. But Chase gets up on the stand and just starts talking about how the PCPD railroaded Willow. They weren't interested in any other suspects. Heavily implies that Dante is a corrupt cop who's covering for his brother, and completely ignores all of these big glaring things pointing to Willow, right? He's just like, I know Willow and she could not have done this. Like, so his entire opinion is based on vibes. Horny DA gets up, eats his ass up. Eats his ass up. She's like, so how you know her again? How you know her again? Oh, she's your ex-wife and you're still really fucking close to her? Y'all used to live in the same house together? Okay. And did you find anything that proves her innocence? Did you find anything in your illegal fucking off the books investigation that you weren't supposed to be doing in the first goddamn place because you work for the PCPD? Did you find anything? He's like, no. And then he was like, also, oh no, she was like, and also, where was the gun found? Where was the gun found? He's like, in Willow shit over at Elizabeth's. And then she asked, and when did we decide to arrest Willow? And he's like, after the gun was found. She was like, so where was the rush to judgment? Where was the incompetence? Where was the corruption? And he can't answer nothing. Because you never actually, like, they legitimately had Chase on some vibes and bullshit, and that's why Willow's innocent. And I'm legit terrified that the show's gonna make him right. Like, even if, like, okay, I'd be fine if they made a Scout, but even then, I'm like, I hate that they made him right, because he's still not right, because he thinks it's Michael. He thinks it's Michael. And so he gets off the stand. Brooklyn looks pissed, but don't even worry about that. They will not have Chase and Brooklyn deal with that at all. At all. They're not even going to have a conversation about it. It will quickly be brought up when they go to Maxie's house in the next episode, but they won't actually get to deal with it whatsoever. Dante, on the other hand, is like, meet me at the station, bruh. Meet me at the station. We got shit to talk about. And proceeds to ask him what the fuck is his problem. Like, what's your problem, bruh? Why you do that? What's going on? And Chase is saying all this crazy stuff. He's like, since you have been commissioner, you have steered this investigation away from Michael. First of all, what are you talking about? What are you actually talking about, bruh? Anna was commissioner when Willow got arrested. Anna personally arrested Willow. So what are you actually talking about? And then he brings up, well, Curtis was brought in and then immediately let go. And like, Dante has to be like, because we immediately found all these pictures put in Willow at the scene of the crime. What are you talking about? What are you actually talking about? This doesn't make any sense. Like, and he's like, well, you should have postponed the trial until you could fully investigate Curtis. Bruh, Dante doesn't make that call. That's the DA. That's the DA. And so Dante's like, so here's what's about to happen. Internal Affairs is going to investigate you because now we all think you deleted that video that shows Willow by his house. Chase acts real offended that Dante is accusing him of that. Sir, you literally in his fucking face, like to his face, accused him of covering this shit up, framing Willow. Like, you accused him of framing Willow to protect Michael, but now you think him accusing you of erasing video footage to protect Willow is a bridge too fucking far? Now you can't believe that he would impugn your character like that? Chase, go straight to hell. Chase, go straight to hell. Even if he's right, I hate this character now because this is the most outlandish behavior I've ever seen in my life. Like, you out here throwing away friendships, careers, relationships for this ingrate ass bitch. Okay. Sure. Great. And so that fucking happened. Before we get to Black Hospital, let me finish up the non-Black Hospital part of this trial. So Laura met up with Martin and she invites him to Christmas Eve. Oddly enough, he does not go, or we do not see it on screen, because we do see Laura's house at Christmas Eve and Martin not there. Or is that Boxing Day? Maybe we didn't see Laura's house on Christmas Eve. I'll, you know what? When I get to that part of my script, I'll correct myself. But we didn't get to see Martin there, but apparently he was invited to Christmas Eve. Tracy had been at the restaurant with Michael to heckle him about knowing that he was at Drew's house that night. Michael's like, when you stop bringing up old shit, to be honest. And Tracy's like, when I feel like it. I'm the head of this family. But she sees Martin and Laura. She's like, bet, I gotta go harass this man for the knickknacks. Goes over to the table and pretty much demands the knickknacks back, or she gonna put his ass in jail, puts Laura on notice about it. Laura is like, Martin, maybe you can get the knickknacks back. Like, have you tried to get the knickknacks back? Martin is like, I already tried to get the knickknacks back. Drew is not trying to give them knickknacks back. What you want me to do? Tracy's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Work it out. Figure it out. Like, either you get me the knickknacks or I'm going to put your ass in jail. And fuck your apology that Laura made you just give right now. He's like, that's not the deal we made. Tracy said, plot purposes dictated that you made that deal with Ned, not with me. And so if you don't give me my knickknacks back, I'm going to put you in jail. What's good? What's good? And so he gets up to go see Drew at the courthouse. We never see this. We never see Martin and Drew talk or connect. What we do see, though, is after everything goes down with Portia, which I'm going to talk about in a second, after everything goes down with them, we see that Alexis receives a letter that tells her that Michael was at Drew's house the night he was shot and that Tracy knows. And so that's probably going to become a thing next week. Get ready for that. But let's go. Let's go to Black Hospital. Black Hospital is a fucking mess. Black Hospital is a fucking mess. And here's the thing. There's been a lot of conversations over the years in regards to like how the black characters or how certain black characters are treated, and a lot of throwing around ideas of like racism or whatever. And in some cases, you know, there's something to that. In some cases, it's, you know, a little over exaggerated. What I witnessed, I'm not trying to put qualifications on this, and my professional job is not GH recapper, right? I am a professional U.S. historian. I work at one of the best universities in the country, and I specifically teach about race and ethnicity in this country. My entire dissertation is literally about Black people. And so what I witnessed this week is the best example of how disregarded the Black characters on this show truly are. Because this is some of the laziest fucking writing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not talking about Portia having to reveal everything on the stand. I'm not talking about that. That's soapy goodness, all right? I'm talking about everything that happened after. Everything that happened after is a disservice to every single Black character on the canvas except Portia and Isaiah, who y'all managed to make look decent and kind and caring, where the Ashfords just look like the most hypocritical, self-centered, shrew-like people I've ever seen in my life. And it's not because they are, it's because the drama that they would give other characters, they don't want to give these people. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to tell the story. They just want everything to be cleaned up, nice and neat in a bow, and nice and neat with a bow. for Curtis Ashford's benefit, and I'm actually fucking sick of it because Curtis Ashford is the worst character in Black Hospital. He's literally the rot of Black Hospital because y'all work overtime to give him cap and cover when he does not need it. He doesn't need it and he doesn't fucking deserve it. Let's get into it. Let me explain what I mean. Let me recap what happened. So Curtis and Jordan, who insist that they have done nothing wrong, even though they're currently on a fucking date in public at the Metro Court. But because they're not physically having sex, somehow that's fine. That's not disrespectful to Portia and Curtis's marriage. The fact that you have been in this emotional ass affair with this woman pretty much your entire marriage, but definitely all of 2025. That's not disrespectful because you haven't physically had sex with her. That's what they're convincing themselves of. What the hell? Let me clear some things up. Jordan and Curtis were definitely having an affair, definitely having an emotional affair where he would share things with this woman that he was not telling his wife, that he would go to this woman without his wife's knowledge, all of that. She was out here being a safe harbor for him, knowing that Portia was uncomfortable with this. She said, well, you're a rational girl and I had him first. Not really, since they have a 22-year-old daughter, but okay, Jordan. But like, y'all were not, Curtis and Jordan were not acting honorably when Portia told both of them that she was uncomfortable with their relationship and how close it was in the summer. In the summer, she said that. And y'all both said your feelings don't fucking matter. That's what y'all had them do. Y'all write Jordan and Curtis the fucking worst and then try to play in my face like they're good people because they didn't have sex. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jordan, your presence did help bust up their marriage, but Curtis loves to have options when he's with a woman. So as soon as he gets mad at Portia, he runs to Jordan. That is disrespectful to Portia. You aren't actually allowed to go run off and have an emotional affair because you're upset or disappointed in your wife. That's still an affair. It's still fucked up. And Jordan, you participated in it. And guess what, honey? Guess what? When he gets mad at you, he'll be at Portia's doorstep once more. Because that's the fucked up cycle you have these three characters in. And you think that, like, Curtis is always right, and the gal that he is closest to in the moment is also always right. And so whoever Curtis likes, they get to be right. And the person Curtis dislikes, they're the devil. No. No. Curtis is the problem. He's the problem in this. And the fact that you got these two strong, intelligent, beautiful women trapped in this, like, devil's advocate, evil, harpy, shrew characterization to prop up this ain't shit ass man is actually fucking annoying. But it took a more devious turn this week because now Trina's involved. Now Trina's involved in propping up her ain't shit ass daddy who deserves to be alone at Christmas, to be honest. Like, nobody should be spending Christmas with Curtis. Curtis is the reason that Portia and Curtis's marriage ended. Curtis is the reason that Jordan and Curtis's marriage ended. Curtis is the reason that y'all are all still dealing with the same fucking problems you've been dealing with for the past 7 years. But we're still acting like Curtis is the greatest dude in the world. I'm sick of it. I'm actually sick of it. Super sick of it. So they're having this date in the Metro Court. He's leering at Nina. Why? You hate Portia and you're on a date with fucking Jordan. So why leer at Nina? But he's leering at Nina, talking about how, like, well, you and me were so honorable. Jordan, in the most annoying ass part of this whole moment, Jordan offers to break up with Curtis. And I'm like, fuck off, girl. Fuck off. What is this? What is this? Where was this fucking energy in June? Where was this energy in June? And don't say they weren't cheating. He kissed her on his wedding day to Portia. So this emotional affair has been happening since jump. She's been out of pocket since jump, to be honest. But we gotta sit here and play this stupid game. We gotta sit here and play this stupid game where Curtis is like, we've done nothing wrong because I declare that we've done nothing wrong. We've done everything honorably because I declare it honorable. And we're using Curtis Ashford's rules of engagement where he gets to be judge and jury and executioner. Sick of it. Sick of it. And so Portia is over with Isaiah at his cabin and she's freaking out because she knows that Curtis is judgmental as fuck and he's trained Trina to be judgmental as fuck too. And she's worried about losing her daughter. She's not even concerned with Curtis. She don't even care about his ass. She's like, I just know when Trina finds this out, she's going to be so upset. Isaiah's like, look, I'm sure she'll be hurt, but I'm sure you'll get through it. And, you know, you're going through a high-risk pregnancy. I'm worried about you. I just want you to stay calm and collected. And I really hope this baby's mine. And I hope you want it too. And Portia's like, I want this baby more than anything. And I hope it's yours too. And you know what? So do I. So do I. Because this is what Portia deserves. This is what Portia deserves. If before people come on my mention, it's like, well, it's not long before she starts lying to his ass too. Portia has to lie to Curtis because Curtis is not a reliable person. Curtis is not the type of partner where you can tell him the things that happen and know that he's going to stand by you. Curtis is a person that you can depend on to judge you immediately and threaten to leave you and have a goddamn emotional affair with his fucking ex-wife that he left for you. That's what you can expect from Curtis. So I don't want to hear about how, like, well, it's Portia's lies. She has to lie to this man. She has to lie to him because he has ridiculous standards that apply to his wives and not himself. Not himself. And so when I see her with Isaiah, she's able to be honest with him because he won't judge her. Even if he's upset. Even if he's disappointed. He's like, I'm still here for you and we can talk about this like rational adults. Curtis doesn't do that. Curtis doesn't do that. And now, unfortunately, we see that Trina doesn't either. But they're hanging out at the cabin. And remember I told you Alexa's trying to find somebody. Portia's who she's trying to find. And she gets the subpoena to go testify in court for the defense. So Portia calls Ava. She's panicking. Ava's like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, you were his doctor. Maybe she's just calling about the doctor shit. Portia's like, that don't make no sense. Like, I feel like everything's about to go wrong. Ava's like, let me come with you to the trial. So they go to the trial. Of course, Trina and Curtis are there, ready to be offended. She gets on the stand. Alexis pretty much implies that she did it and asks her what her alibi is. The horny DA does try to be like, she's not on trial, so I don't know what we talking about with this. Like, what's going on here? The judge is like, nah, I want to know where she was. Portia tries to be like, listen, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get, so I don't really know why we're here. And, I mean, she's crying and stuff. Brooke Kerr gave one hell of a performance. Emmy. Because I was like, oh my God, Portia, this is so, like, Alexis, you fucking dummy. You dummy, Alexis. But she's forced to say that she was with Isaiah when Drew got shot. And so Trina and Curtis are devastated. I swear the only positive is that she had to drop that Drew was blackmailing her, and now all of a sudden the people and the constituents care that Drew is a blackmailer, even though they didn't care that he was out here stealing his nephew's wife. They didn't give a shit about that. But they care about this. But Portia tries to explain, Trina won't even let her. Trina won't even let her. Curtis is judging her, being like, it's a baby mine, yelling at her. And like, it's just really crazy to me. And maybe I'm sensitive because I was raised by a single mother. It's really crazy to me that they have written Trina as if like her story has been searching for this family that she never had, when she did have a family. She had it with Portia and with Taggart. And y'all chose to ignore that to once more prop up Curtis fucking Ashford. Why? Why? Trina is an adult who lives on her own, who is mature enough to understand, and even if she doesn't agree with her mom, at least hear her out. She knows that she's in a high risk pregnancy, but no one cares about that. Everybody just wants to yell at her face. They don't want to like listen to her. Like, I get Curtis is an ancient bitch who's judgmental and hypocritical, but you couldn't have Trina hear out her mom? Really? Okay. So we get to the next episode with Black Hospital, and it's Christmas Eve, and we're with the Ashfords, and they're all being the most hypocritical group of unfeeling ass people you've ever met in your fucking days. You've ever met ever. Portia has been there for every single one of them personally. Portia nursed Curtis back to health when he was shot and paralyzed. Portia held Hat Daddy's hand when he was going through his schizophrenia weird storyline. Portia picked Stella up off the floor a bunch of times when she was going through her medical stuff. Portia was literally willing to crash out to protect Trina, and none of them care about any of that. They're just so offended that Portia would have the gall to sleep with another man after Curtis Ashford ended their marriage. That's all they care about. And this is where the truly offensive part lies. Because it just shows a complete disregard for how actual Black families operate. This isn't how people operate, actually. But because you don't actually want to give any of these people real conflict, which would equal real storyline, you just ignore it. Everything is reduced down to Portia is bad and Curtis is the victim. Now let's listen to this nice rendition of Silent Night featuring Hat Daddy and Trina. What are we talking about? Even finding out about Portia and this baby and that Curtis might not be the father, it does not absolve what Curtis and Jordan were doing. It shouldn't absolve it for Trina, and it shouldn't absolve it for Stella. But instead of actually giving these two talented women actual story, actual things to do, you had Trina invite Jordan over, apologize for being upset about her emotional affair with her father, and pretty much ask her to be her new mom. Stella said, welcome back to the family, girl. You've already been writing Marshall like an inconsiderate asshole since he found out about Curtis and Jordan, so wasn't expecting much from him. But like, why? Why? Imagine if they had written Michael being pro Sona after Sonny left his fucking mom to be with Nina. Imagine that shit. And we don't have to, because I was on the timeline when they had Christina be okay with it. And people were like, what the fuck is this? Christina goes harder than anybody in fucking the Corinthos family. And now she's fine with the woman who kept her dad, made her think that he was dead because you don't want to write a story for her. And just like that moment, they don't want to write a story for the Ashfords. They don't want to write for them. They don't want to have to actually deal with the fact that, Curtis is the one who destroyed the family because Curtis is the center of the family. So to make him the bad guy is to literally tear the entire family apart. They treat Portia like an appendage. Everybody in this family is an appendage to Curtis. And it's the main problem with Black Hospital. It's why people don't like it. It's why people skip it. Because nobody wants to see it. People have been complaining for months that Trina's story has been relegated to being worried about Kai and being upset that her parents are getting a divorce, to be the talk to for Emma Scorpio Drake and anytime Jocelyn decides to come home. Because you don't want to give her a story. You just want her to be a prop for Curtis or Emma or Kai randomly. You don't want to use Hat Daddy and Stella. You just want them to be appendages and props for Curtis. You're not interested in exploring Jordan as a character who actually predates Curtis Ashford on this show, to be honest. You're not interested in that. You're interested in using her as Curtis's Ashford's Girl Friday until you inevitably have her disappoint him. And then he's back talking to Portia, who is also just an appendage, just a kicking bag. With this season's kicking bag for Black Hospital until Jordan eventually fills that role again. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I am done following this storyline. This Curtis heavy storyline. Where every character that orbits this man is reduced down and trashed so he can be the center of it. So he can be the hero. It's annoying and offensive. And it's offensive to everyone involved, including Donnell, who could do more stuff if you gave it to him. You always give him these scenes where he's talking down to somebody, all offended at all the shit that they did, but they never want to talk about what he did, how you led to this. Like, that's the main reason why I'm like, listen, I get why you mad at Drew, but also you started it. You chose to be offended on some business shit when you didn't need to be. You took Michael's side, and now Drew's not friends with you and he's going on hard. What do you expect from him? Why are you mad at him? The reason Portia got blackmailed is not because she's a liar, it's because you decided to start a war with Drew. That's what happens, but the show don't deal with that, right? Ain't never had a single person utter those words. That this is all happening because Curtis Ashford decided to start a war with Drew Kane. That's why this is happening. Not because of Portia's lies. And now I have to listen to the entire Ashford family praise Jordan for her emotional fucking affair and talk about that Portia shouldn't be in a house that she damn near paid for herself because Curtis was not working for Aurora when they bought that house. Curtis wasn't doing any of that. And so that was Black Hospital. Obviously, I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. Want nothing but a completely different storyline for every single person involved in Black Hospital in 2026. Please and thank you, writers of the show. Moving on, let's go over to Britt and the hospital. So the hospital is open for Christmas Eve. Britt's there being a menace. She's upset because she got called into work. She's like, I'm supposed to do something because she's supposed to go over to Maxie's house. But Lucas is like, okay, girl, but you working, so calm down. And they agree to a truce. Liz is there because, all her kids are either grown or, Lucky decided to come take his baby. And so Liz is working, and Britt ends up getting her license back because Pikeman pulls some strings so he can blackmail her some more. And so that happens. She ends up telling her mom, like, hey, get that back. Great. Right. Over at Maxie's house, where Britt wasn't allowed to go, we see Chase and Brooklyn show up. Once more, they did not have Chase and Brooklyn deal with anything. Brooklyn talked to Michael in the previous episode, who was like, don't be mad at Chase, because then they'd have to give y'all a story, and they don't want to give y'all a story, so don't be mad at him. And so she wasn't. They just go to Mac's house, and was Maxie's house, and Mac and Felicia are there, and Mac is pissed off, but not Brooklyn, because then you'd have to give him a story, right? Okay. But they're all, so it's Chase and Brooklyn, Lisa and Nina, Mac and Felicia, Nathan, Cody, and then eventually Gio shows up. Emma's there too. And they're trying to make Christmas good for James, the only one of Max's kids who's actually on screen. We learned that Spinelli took Georgie to see Maxie. Bailey Lewis forever taking a nap, as we know. Girl is always taking a nap. And we get that Sasha not in hiding, apparently, because they go FaceTime with Sasha and Robert, so obviously she's not hiding. So did Michael see his baby today? Did they FaceTime Michael? Did Michael get to see the baby? These are the questions I have. These are the questions I have for the Scorpio Christmas. But eventually, oh, there's a weird, because Felicia asked Emma about Anna. Like, so how's Anna doing? What's going on? And essentially, Emma's like, yeah, she didn't call me on Christmas, but she sent me this photo. She sent me this text. And it's literally Anna skiing. I'm like, why are y'all writing Emma like this? So you think your grandma is dishing you on Christmas for the slopes? For the WSB and the slopes? How long before people realize that Anna's missing? How long before people realize Anna's missing? This is wild. This is outrageous. But none of that matters because, all this other stuff is happening. Nathan's trying to get this saddle for James, so he's not even taking credit for it because of Santa bringing it. And Cody finds out it's going to be late, and so he gets Molly involved. It's very cute. I'm glad they got to, do that, work that out. Nina's being sad because Willow is on trial and Portia got her life ruined and none of that shit mattered. Okay. And then Gio shows up and Emma gives him a freaking didgeridoo. She gives him a didgeridoo because that's what they do in the Scorpio family, right? She's like, so you don't want to play violin? I got you a new instrument. It's a didgeridoo. And so they have that little cute moment. Let's go over to Carly's house. What my friend Susie affectionately calls attic family Christmas. So Carly's hiding Valentine in the attic, and Donna almost catches him because he's simping in the attic decorating a fucking Christmas tree. Where you get this Christmas tree from? Carly just got loose Christmas trees at her house. Like, she usually all the decorations come down when I'm putting on my Christmas tree, but Carly just had loose decorations, loose Christmas trees in her house. Donna comes in the room, sees the decorated Christmas tree. She's like, Santa? And runs downstairs. Of course, Carly's down there with Pikeman, who's still pretending like he don't know that Carly don't fucking like his ass. He gives her a gift. I'm kind of like, Carly, open that gift right now. What if it's a microphone? What if he's recording you? Because you've been acting sus as fuck. You have to know that. And so we're caught, girl. We're caught. But we're almost definitely caught because Donna runs downstairs and was like, there's a Christmas tree in the attic. I think Santa's up there. Before they even have a chance to deal with that, Christina shows up with some ribbon because that's why Donna was apparently in the attic to go look at ribbons. And that gets distracted. Pikeman's like, I gotta go do WSB shit anyway, whatever. And so that gets saved. Christina takes Donna over to Sunny's house. We'll go over to Sunny's house in a second. Carly goes upstairs to check on Valentine and, asks if that's why he's simping like this. And he's like, listen, this is the first Christmas without my daughter. And so I'm sad. And Carly's like, bet. And she ends up taking Charlotte over to see Valentine at the attic family Christmas. It's a whole moment. It's a whole moment. But before they went to do that, they were over at Sunny's house where Rocco continues to be a little fucking ingrate. Cause like, sir, ain't nobody mad in this house. Everybody's trying to be happy for Christmas. You are the only person bringing this energy and this attitude to the point where Charlotte finally has to say something. She's like, bruh, let me be so real with you right now. There are people who can't see their fucking dad on Christmas. People like me. People who lost their dads. Like, it's lucky to have a dad in this world. So why'd you stop being a little ingrate? Like, just stop and enjoy Christmas with your fucking dad. Because some of us can't. And so at that point, you know, Rocco decides to like share a cookie with Dante. Like, here, share this cookie. Sir, you need to do more than this. You need to do more than this because you're doing too much. You're doing entirely too much. I'm sick of it. I don't want to see it no more. All right? Like, you gotta shake your dad's hand and you gotta share a cookie with him. Hug the man. Hug the man. You've been nothing but trouble for all the fall and winter. All of fall and winter. The fact that, like, I get that you're upset with how he's handling the geo of it all. I get that. But you don't seem to get that you have been nothing but trouble. Most of this shit's happening because of you. Because of the shitty choices that you make. And yes, Dante needs to, you know, pop his titty out your mouth and recognize you for the grown ass kid that you have become, and that you make choices that Gio's not just leading you around like a puppy, but also you need to grow the fuck up. Because your dad has a right to be upset with you, and he has a right to be upset with Gio. And even if he doesn't express it that well, even if he says some shit that he clearly regrets, you still need to give him grace because he's giving you grace. He's giving you grace and you don't fucking deserve it. You don't deserve it. You literally broke into a fucking lab. You literally chose to get caught. Which, you know, valiant so you can keep your brother and sister protected, but you chose this life. You chose to do it. Gio chose to tell Dante what he did. Dante reacted the way he reacted. Alright? You got arrested, went to jail, got your ass beat from the head to the feet. You've been through a lot, bruh. You tried to show up to court in duck shoes. You've been nothing but a little ingrate this entire time. It's Christmas, bruh. It's Christmas. Stop. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I was so happy when Charlotte and Rocco went to Laura's house on Boxing Day and not to the Quartermains because I need to see his attitude. I don't want to see this attitude. But whatever. Like I said, they share the cookie. They share the cookie. Gio was at the family Christmas, but he was like, Grandpa, Sonny, I gotta go be with my girl. Sonny was like, go be with your girl. Donna is like, I got a present for you, Dad. And she gives him this like little cute handmade, like, I love you, Dad, Merry Christmas present, like ornament. It's very cute. It's very cute. It's a very cute Corinthos Christmas. Very cute Corinthos Christmas. So now let's skip over to Boxing Day because we don't see December 25th in Port Charles. They said no, that's private. So we are all celebrating Boxing Day in Port Charles. They found a reason for pretty much everybody to celebrate it except for Laura. I think she just wanted to have people over because she's not British, right? Like, no one in her life is British, but Whitey's African Warlord is British, so he was like, you know, I'm gonna have Boxing Day. And then Tracy is like, I liked the tradition from stupid Larry Ashton, who's Ned's father, who is also British. And so, you know, Ned's British, I guess. So now we do Boxing Day at the Q's. But all this stuff is happening the day after Christmas. Let's start with Whitey's African Warlord. So he decides to have a Boxing Day party. Latino son and Lucas are busy being cute, you know. Oh my god, that first Christmas together, oh my god. Nondescript European butler is just leering at Lucas across the room. Is he jealous? Is he jealous of Lucas or is he jealous of Latino son? I'm not sure which. Who does nondescript European butler want? Does he want to be with Lucas or does he want to be with Latino son? Y'all answer in the comments. Because he want both one of them. He want one of them. That's all I'm saying. He's like, I am very upset that this love is flourishing because it should be me. That's the energy he's giving. But he's doing that. Everyone starts showing up. Lucy shows up. and immediately realizes that she's in a love triangle with Whitey's African warlord and Ava, who is pushing up hard. Pushing up hard AF. Like, does not fucking care about this relationship that Lucy's in with this man. She says that's gonna be my man. So good luck, Queen. She's talking about art. She talking about all the things. She's pretty much making Lucy look like a dummy. Like, you don't know anything. You don't know art. Not like this man, not like me. I was like, Lucy, Lucy, hurry up. But Ava's also there to support Lucas. You know, they bond some more, even though she's led him into danger because she herself makes terrible choices, and has supported this, move into Windermere, even though all the shenanigans are happening here. And she kind of knows it. Like, she doesn't have any proof, but she knows this man is shady. She's met men like his ass before. Like, she knows what's good, and she's still acting like, well, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. But they're very cute together. I like their relationship. I wonder what happens at the end of all this when he's got to admit that Carly was right. He shouldn't have moved into that fucking house. But then Jordan's punk ass shows up and finally starts to, do her job, and get some tea on Whitey's African warlord. Because I know a lot of people were like, so is she just evil now? And I'm like, no, I feel like they're finally going to have her start doing her job. That, like, ooh, now that he trusts her more and thinks that she's down to clown like this, then he'll start telling her where bodies are buried. I think that's where they're going. Not that Jordan's just going to be corrupt. I would love that shit because fuck her. But I don't think that's where they're going, to be honest. And then the only other thing that happens, they did have Ava and Jordan talk for a second, but it's a nothing burger. Ava's like, I don't want drama. I'm not taking sides. Why? Take Portia's side. What you talking about? But she's like, no, I'm on Trina's side. And so hopefully that Trina's side involves Ava being like, be nice to your mom. Be nice to your mom. And so we'll see what happens there. But that's the Whitey's African Warlord party, his little Boxing Day party. Laura also has a little after Christmas party. We'll say she's celebrating Kwanzaa because she's not British. But she's inviting people over. Sunny just crashed the party. Sunny just crashes the party so he could talk to her about that body they disappeared back in the day, like a few weeks ago. And she's just like, yeah, we did it for Rocco, it's fine. And then Kevin thanks him for helping Laura disappear that body, and they shake hands. It's very awkward. It's very awkward. But Sunny ends up leaving for the wildest. You will not believe where Sunny ends up at the end of this episode. But after Sunny leaves, Lulu and Laura talk, about how, she missed Christmas last year because of Charlotte, but Charlotte's there, and Lulu was saying I had to I talked to myself to be better for my kids and all the things, and they hug. It's very beautiful. And then Charlotte, out of nowhere, and I don't know why, girl, because you gotta learn how to keep things to yourself. But Charlotte tells Rocco that she saw Valentine. She tells Rocco about the Attic family Christmas. She doesn't get into details. She doesn't say that, my dad's at Carly's house in the attic, but she's definitely like, yeah, I saw my dad. And Rocco looks like he's about to snitch, to be honest. Like, Rocco looks like he's about to snitch. I'm so worried about that. Like, Rocco seems like a loose cannon. Some people said, like, what if it's not Rocco? What if it's Ace? Because she said it right in front of Ace, and he seems like he's the age where he could talk. And so we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. But let's go over to Alexis / Drew and Willow's Boxing Day Kwanzaa celebration. So Alexis is trying to work so she can see Scout because Drew said that since she is so washed and got him caught up with some blackmail, ruin Portia's life, she can't see Scout on Christmas. But the thing is that Scout wants to see her. And so to hurt Alexis, he has to hurt Scout. And Willow can see, like, Willow over at Drew and Willow's house, Willow can see that Scout is really hurt. And she just cannot take it at that point. She's like, actually, I'm down to use everybody but this child. And kind of gets into it with Drew about whether or not he should allow Scout to see Alexis. I'm not going to talk too much about this because, like I said, I made a whole 50-minute video about how I feel about this. All you need to know is that Drew truly ain't shit. And the fact that Willow even had to bring this up is fucking wild. It's fucking wild. Like, what are we talking about? How does he not, he can't tell that his daughter is sad on Christmas? Okay. Okay. But Alexis is working hard because she's like, I have to get Willow acquitted or we'll never see Scout again. Christina and Molly try to get her to stop. They brought over Noodle Buddha. They're like, listen, you got to take a day off because, to be honest, you're not going to be any help to anybody if you burn yourself out. And so she decides to take a break. Cody comes over to ask Molly out on a date for New Year's Eve. And then Willow finally brings Scout over to see Alexis, Molly, and Christina. And it's not even Drew bringing it. Like, right, Drew doesn't even come. So it's not even his gift to his daughter. It's Willow's gift to his daughter. So it's actually wild. It's actually wild. Like I said, whole video about this on this channel. You can find it. But let's go over to the Quartermain Boxing Day extravaganza. So Tracy is obviously sad about Monica. It's her first Christmas without Monica, her bestie slash, worst enemy slash sister. And she's sad. Leo and Wiley are busy being a mess. They bring a frog into the house. It gets loose. We gotta all find this frog. And then, Tracy wants Cody to take them kids to the stable so she can have some peace and quiet on this Boxing Day. Cody's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go ask Molly to go on a date with me on New Year's Eve. Tracy's like, bet, I support that. Ned ends up, we learn we learned in the Sunny Christmas Eve party that Ned and Sunny bought a really expensive violin for Geo. That shows up. Olivia thanks Ned for being, a good husband and not dying with his heart attack. That was a nice moment. Um and then we see Tracy asked Michael if someone's showing up. And he says, yeah, I'm going to make sure he comes. Don't even trip. I already called him. He said he's on his way. The next time we see someone show up is Geo. But it's clear that Geo's coming on his own volition. It's very cute. He hugs, Olivia. He's with his mama. He obviously has Emma there as his emotional support girlfriend. But the next person who shows up is Sunny. And it's fucking wild. Because, Tracy hates this man. But she's so determined to make Geo feel welcome that she invites Sunny over. So, he doesn't think that this is an anti-Sunny house. Which is funny because Michael lives there, so it's never going to be an anti-Sunny house. You literally have several Corinthoses living in that house. Because Michael's last name is Corinthos, and so is his children. But, Sunny comes over. At that point, Leo finds the violin that Sunny and Ned bought for Geo. Now, they wanted to wait until he gave them more of a sign that he was ready to get back to music, but Leo not trying to hear any of this, and neither is Wiley. They're like, well, people are sad, okay? Monica's dead. Monica's dead, and we need some music in this house. And it's like they're finishing the job that Donna Corinthos started of getting Geo to love music again. We're violin trapping Geo into loving music, and it works. It works. It's very beautiful. It's a rendition of Oh Holy Night. It's very beautiful, and I'm actually really happy. He did such a good job. He broke down when he got the violin, and then he plays the song, and then Tracy hugs him. It's a really great way to end the week, and I was like, yes, at least we have a little bit of happiness before whatever the hell happens next week. I haven't even read the spoilers for it, so whatever happens next week is gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, especially because Alexis got the tea about Michael being at Drew's house, and the Ashfords are fucking wilding, and it's gonna be a mess. But this week ended very beautifully. We had Scout getting to be with the family she wanted to be with. We have Geo returning to his love of the violin and music in general. We had the weird, conclave of Laura, Kevin, and Sunny covering up this murder, and then this weird ass Boxing Day party over at Whitey's African Warlord's house with pretty much every character on the canvas that I fucking hate or am annoyed with at the moment. And so that was the week. If you like this, feel free to like, subscribe, like I said in the beginning. Thank you guys. I just started doing this again like a few months ago because I was really interested in the show. I used to podcast about it all the time, and then circumstances and quality declined and I stopped, but it's been really, really great to sort of start again. It's really great to like start on YouTube. I already have almost like 200 followers or subscribers. I'm just like so used to social media subscribers, and it's so great. It'd be amazing to get to like 200 to, I mean, I guess I should wish for more. Like, oh, would it be crazy if I got to like 1,000 subscribers in 2026? Because I'm out here like, what if I made it to 200 in 2026? And I'm like, girl, you're like 25, 27 away from that already. But yeah, it'd be crazy to get more subscribers across the platforms. I already have a bunch on social media, but you know, it'd be always nice to have more people join the Poor Misery fam. But thank you so much for rocking with me this year. Everyone who listens, who takes the time out. I hope you had a really great year. And if you didn't, I hope next year is so much better for you. But happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. And here's to more Port Misery in 2026. Bye, y'all.